Garry Kasparov against Lejos. Let's get it! This game was back in 1983, and this was round 4 in the Nexic event. I think that's how you say it. Who cares? He played the first move, d4. And after d4, his opponent played knight f6. And yeah, it's about to be interesting. After knight f6, we got the move c4, then e6. After e6, Garry Kasparov played knight f3, and then his opponent went to the move b6, playing the Queen's Indian defense. After playing the Queen's Indian defense, Garry Kasparov realized that and played the move knight c3, just develop their knight, and then they fianchettoed that bishop to b7. After bishop b7, a3, maybe doing b4 in the future, and then we got the move d5 in with that a3 move, preventing bishop from going to b4, and then d5, crashing on the center of the board. Kasparov didn't like that very much, so that's why he took the pawn. C takes on d5, knight takes on d5, and then Garry Kasparov was like, please don't hurt me, just do e3, let me just castle first before I attack you relentlessly, because you already know how Garry Kasparov is. So after e3, knight takes on c3, and then he played b takes on c3. After b takes on c3, bishop to e7, bishop to b5, checking the king along that diagonal. Where's my stick at? This is my stick. See this diagonal, the a4 to e8 diagonal? Yeah, that mug is gangster. And that's why Lejos had to shut that mug down and do the move c6. After doing the move c6, Garry Kasparov was like, okay, I see you. I'm gonna just do bishop d3. But now your bishop doesn't have the diagonal anymore. And Lejos is like, wait a minute. Next move, c5. After c5, castle kingside, and then knight to c6. Knight c6, a bishop b2, a rook to c8, and then after rook to c8, queen e2, castle kingside. And we are to the middle game. After castle kingside, rook a to d1, always putting the rook on the same file as their queen, even like if there's no open files in the position. And that's why his opponent moved the queen to c7, because that could open up pretty quickly. Garry Kasparov played the move c4 next. Okay, after c4, let's just analyze this position right quick. Let's analyze this. And I'm gonna use the red marker this time. I didn't even erase the board from the last game. Dang. Material equal. King safety equal. Development equal. Space equal. Center control equal. Pawn structure equal. Everything is equal. All right, pretty simple. Both players did their best job. There's not really any dynamic play. Most grandmasters would just get a draw in this position. But the move c takes d4 did happen to open up the position. And now, maybe now, e takes on d4. Who's better in pawn structure? Our opponent, but we now, oh snap, let me erase this. Our pawn structure is trash. But usually in these hanging pawn structures, we have, dang, where's my red marker? Minus pawn structure, more space. And perhaps, maybe more development in the future. You know what I mean? Let's just keep our eye on that. Yeah, that's an eye. I don't know how to draw eyes. I don't know. After e takes on d4, we got the move knight a5, targeting those pawns. And then Garry Kasparov was like, that seems like a mistake. I'm just gonna bust through the center with the move d5, which, yeah, this is completely busted, and you're gonna see the reason why. After e takes on d5, c takes on d5, bishop takes on d5, then we got the move, just make sure, bishop takes on h7. After bishop takes on h7, king takes on h7, because king h8 is just a sad reality. We got this move, rook takes on d5. And who is better? Clearly white is better, since we kind of added something else that I didn't know. Not only do we have more development, because we got our rook into the game, we're controlling all of the center. The center is ours. Whoever controls the center controls the game. And remember that statement, especially when you watch this magnificent combination. Our opponent went back to king g8. And what do you think Garry Kasparov did next? He did the fascinating move, demolishing all the pawns in front of the opponent's king by doing bishop takes on g7. Yeah, now whose king is safer? We got minus material now, but now we got king safety. So not only did we minus pawn structure, minus material, but we got space, development, king safety, and center control, which is awesome. That's an awesome trade for us. We got 4 things out of the 6 major things in this list. And king has to capture that bishop. Why not? You're just gonna have to prove, and now Garry Kasparov is gonna have to prove why bishop takes on g7 is a great move, and which he did, especially after the move knight to e5, literally threatening queen g4. That's simple. After knight to e5, rook f to d8, then queen g4, and he tried to run away with the king to f8, but no, not so fast. Queen f5, threatening checkmate on the f7 square, mate in 1. And so black had to do something about that. What did they do? They pushed the pawn up, and there are so many weaknesses. How could this not be losing for the black pieces? Especially since the move knight to d7 was played next. After knight d7, right? The opponent was thinking, okay, let me give back the material because he's doing a little bit too much. And I already know that I'm losing. I got my knight on the rim, and that knight is definitely dim. And so I'm just gonna do rook takes on d7. And then I'm gonna allow you to do rook takes on d7. And then I'm gonna move my queen to c5 and hope that we trade queens. Which did not happen because Garry Kasparov is very smart and realized that if you're attacking the king, do not trade pieces, especially the major piece, the queen. So queen h7 was played here. After queen h7, rook c7 was played because, you know, black wants to trade pieces since he's getting attacked relentlessly. But Garry Kasparov did not stop at all and did the move queen h8, king f7, and then after king f7, we got the move rook to d3. He was like, okay, I'm gonna chill. I need to build something more. Even though that I know that I'm still winning and you can't defend this, I gotta build with my pieces. And this gives black a little bit of time to go to knight c4, rook f to d1. And then lastly, this knight went back to e5, but this was the last straw of the position. Garry Kasparov was not playing at all because he did the move queen h7. And all the moves like f8 just runs into rook d8 and checkmate in like 2 moves. And then e8 runs into checkmate in 3 moves, queen g8, bishop f8, queen e6, and then bishop back to e7, rook d8. Even if the queen goes back, rook d8 still, which is checkmate. And so the only move that black had to go to survive was king e6. And this is when it gets ugly because we got the move queen g8, king f5, and then after king f5, we have the unexpected move, brilliant move of the position by Garry, g4. G4. After g4, you realize I gotta go to king f4 because if knight takes on g4, rook d5 is basically forking the queen, and that's just losing. King f4 happened. After king f4, rook d4, and his opponent resigned because there's checkmate in 4. Do you want to see it? I'm gonna show you anyway. So if this game would have continued and king went to f3, queen b3, queen c3, next check, queen d5, king e2, only move, and then after queen e4, queen e3, only move to defend, and then queen takes on e3, checkmate. Fascinating that Garry Kasparov seen this already beforehand, and yes, yeah, he's a true menace, like I said before, and Garry Kasparov is very disrespectful over the board. Like, how are they supposed to continue on with their chess career after this humiliating game? Man, I can't even talk. What do you think? Tell me what you think in the comments. Make sure that you like the video. If you made it this far, like the video. Please, it helps me out. Okay.